Hey guys, now that I finally got the 52-inch light bar on the roof of my Tahoe that I've been wanting for a long time, it was time to go ahead and put one on my mud truck. Now on the Tahoe I went with the fisheye lenses because I'm going to be driving around the road. I drive a lot of back roads in the country. You know, we've got deer, we've got Amish buggies, we've got things to watch out for. So I wanted those fisheye lenses to project that beam way down the road so I could see stuff coming from long ways off. On the mud truck, that's off-road only, going to be going through the woods, through trails, through fields, stuff like that. So I decided to go with the regular style reflectors because it's a better flood beam light, so I can light up everything, so I can see what I'm doing at night when I'm playing in the mud or trails or what have you. Now this is a 52-inch straight Auxbeam light bar, has the Philips LEDs, 3-watt LEDs. It's a 300-watt total light bar. Now if you watch a lot of my videos, this probably looks familiar. I've tested out the 42-inch version, and I've got the 32-inch version of this same light bar on the front of my Tahoe on the bumper. Really happy with it. Does a great job of flood lighting. So I know this is going to be a good light bar. Alright, let's take a closer look. Like I said, it is an Auxbeam light bar. It's a combination spot beam, flood beam. You can see the difference between the flood beam reflectors and the regular spot beam reflectors. Well, like I've said in other videos, these style light bars are way better at flood lighting, even though it is a combination spot beam, flood beam. And that's why I want to use it on the mud truck, because it'll really light up the area really well. Looks like a good quality, well-made housing, just like all the other Auxbeam light bars I've checked out. Pretty well made. Does have that military style breather on the side there that I like. Help you to not get condensation behind your lenses when it's cold out and the light bar heats up. And we got the same standard mounting hardware you're going to find on all these light bars. You got the knurls on both sides, so you can mount it either way you want. Got your mounting hardware, rubber isolators for vibration, some Allen wrenches, and all your bolts and nuts. Now normally I end up either using aftermarket brackets or I make my own custom brackets. More often than not, I usually make my own custom brackets. Like on the Tahoe, the only roof mount brackets they make for the Tahoe are about $200, and my mud truck is the same year, Chevy truck, so obviously on that one it's the same thing. The only roof mounts they make are about 200 bucks, and I ain't gonna spend $200 on a mud truck. So on the mud truck, I'm just gonna end up mounting these this way. I'm gonna bolt it right to the roof, silicone it up real good with some good Permatex right stuff. Does a really good job sealing. And I wouldn't recommend doing that on your daily driver. Not only does it look kind of tacky, but I just don't really like drilling holes in the roof of a nice truck. But like I said, this is a mud truck, so we're just gonna be bolting it up there on the roof, and I think it's gonna be just fine. Alright, so here's the mud truck I'm planning on putting this light bar on. I got it set up there just to take a look at how it's going to set on the roof. Now you see, because this is a 52-inch light bar, it comes right to the edge of the roof line, and it doesn't really sit flat on there. So unless I wanted to flatten the roof down, which I really don't want to do, it's not really going to work out like I'd hoped. So I'm going to end up going ahead and making some custom roof mounts for this as well. Alright, well there it is, all mounted up, nice and solid. Now we just gotta wait for dark and try it out. Got a couple custom made brackets on there, looks pretty good. Oh yeah, looks good. Can't wait to try it out after dark. Alright, we better go ahead and do a quick endurance test through a little mud hole, you know, just to make sure my brackets hold up okay while we're waiting for it to get dark. Yeah, I'd say those brackets are off-road approved. Now we just gotta wait for dark. Alright, it's dark out. The only problem is my windshield is all fogged up because it's 45 degrees outside right now. And I don't have a heater in this truck, so it's going to be really hard to see through the windshield. So I'm going to go ahead and hang it out the window and fire it up, see how it looks. Oh, I forgot to mention, that'd be the high beams on the truck there, which aren't very good, but... And there is that 52-inch Phillips light bar. Man, it lights up the whole backyard. Alright, so like I said, can barely see through my windshield with the camera because it's all fogged up. So I'll go ahead and see if we can creep on out back with the camera hanging out the window and give you an idea of what this light bar looks like. Alright, here we are up at the top of the hill looking down over the backyard. Now believe it or not, my headlights are on, but they're probably covered in mud like they always are, so you can't really see anything. And there's that big old 52-inch light bar. That thing is definitely bright. Does a really good job. Like I said, I can't really show you what it looks like through this fogged up window, but now it actually does have a lot more glare on the hood than I thought it'd be. Probably made a little worse by the headers sticking up through the hood there, but I don't know if that's got to do with where I mounted the light bar or what, but it's definitely bright. Does a really good job. Lights up that barn up at 100 yards away and lights up everything between here and there. And this right here is why you always want to use your low beams when you're in fog. That big old light bar in the fog, man, hard to see anything. But man, that thing is definitely bright. I'm really happy with it. And as always, I'll put a link in the description to where I got it on Amazon. Thanks for watching.